What is good, everybody? I hope you're doing awesome. Apex Legends is certainly having some time in the sun with the new Switch port that Panic Button put together, and yeah, I think I'm going to try and install it. The unfortunate thing is I've heard this is pretty much the upper limits of what is capable on the Switch, right? I've seen some footage that it doesn't look that playable to me, man. I'm struggling to hold 30 FPS, although there is a dream, right, of sitting on my couch playing Apex on the Switch with maybe some friends who are on other platforms. Like, what a crazy universe. And it's now been a couple of years since Apex Legends came out. A little bit over 2 years, by about a month, actually. And this is still my favorite Battle Royale game out, hands down. I want to outline sort of my favorite elements still, why I think it's worth you checking out in 2021, but also at the same time too, hey, it's been 2 years. Is this game still popular? Are people still playing this game? Is this thing going to survive? It's dropping down on Twitch. What's going on, you guys? So why don't we open there for just a second? Since Apex was brought over to Steam, which I need to actually migrate off of Origin and through Steam, we now have actual information on the Steam chart side of the game, what it's sort of looking like. Apex rocketed up to, what, 70 million players by October 2019, but the rumor was its fast growth did not lead to great sustainability, and especially if you look at Twitch popularity, it has not maintained its position the same way that some of the other games in the space have, specifically Warzone. But looking here at the 6-month chart, right, on Apex Legends, now this is only going to give you a portion of the player base, right, the PC side using Steam. It's actually looking fairly nice with a decent uptrend. Part of that uptrend could be people like me saying, hey, I'm done with the Origin client, let's go over to Steam. Granted, I know you still have to use a little Origin-like client within the game, but frankly, 122,000 people playing the game 23 minutes ago with a 200K peak in the last 24 hours. Not bad at all. You also have crossplay alongside of it, so yeah, you've got the opportunity to play this game with a whole lot of people, and needless to say, I don't think Apex is going away anytime soon. Why it's still my favorite Battle Royale game out there? It's the movement system, the speed of gunfights, it awards aggressive play in ranked game modes, and frankly, I find it to be an overall not very serious experience, one that you can just hop in, have fun, and enjoy. On the con side of things, though, for me, I really don't like the Battle Pass system. I think their cosmetics being the only, like, real unlock system is gonna run out of juice in a little bit. If you watch the channel, you know I compare Battle Passes a little bit to that of gym memberships. And oftentimes I find myself halfway through a season playing the game a lot, but I really have no interest to buy the Battle Pass because, hey, already missed out on a month and a half of time to go towards grinding this thing. Right? In many ways, battle passes, you're paying to commit to a game, and I don't know, man. I like the old days. Play the stuff that you want to, when you want to. Who cares, right? If you're grinding the thing every single day for 2 hours. Now that movement system, man. Titanfall 2, the best. Simply the best. One of the best FPS games of the last 5 years. One of the best movement systems ever in an FPS title. And while I'm over here weeping that Titanfall 3 is probably not happening anytime soon, I can at least get a little bit of fun out of sliding, wall bouncing, and just enjoying some of the nuances that are within the movement system of Apex Legends. I love sliding down a hill, man. There's something so wonderful to it, or blasting into a fight. There's just enough movement tech within Apex Legends to keep me interested. Do I wish there was more? Absolutely. I know that I read originally they had tested wall running and all sorts of double jump stuff with the early stages of Apex, but it just wasn't working in the Battle Royale space. Ah, darn, you know, because I still would have liked to have seen that. To me, that sounds like a really cool limited time game mode. But for what is there, if you go online, look at some cool Pathfinder movement tech videos or watch some of the pros, there is a huge skill ceiling for what you can do with the zip lines, vaulting up things, the wall bounce tech. There is a cool skill ceiling there within the movement system. And Warzone, to me, just doesn't contain that, right? And I'm not much of a Fortnite player, purely because, yeah, it was fun back in the day, but that building stuff is just not for me. It's not what I look for in a shooter game, basically. The speed of the gunfights. I finally think that in Season 7 and 8, they're getting some nice... It sounds so touchy, because if you ask the pro community, it's always out of whack. It's never really found its perfect sweet spot, but I like the Evo Shield system. If you guys haven't played in a few seasons, essentially when you deal damage, your Evo Shield will have a chance to progress and become a little bit better. But at the end of the match, everybody's pretty much rocking red shields, depending upon how well you are pushing damage out there. And maybe at the highest levels of the game, it's not that fun. I'm a player who likes to play ranked until I get to gold. Maybe we push for platinum, but for the most part, that's where I live. And that's, you know, somebody with a full-time job, running a channel that covers a lot of different FPS games. That's a nice, happy medium ground. And for a player like me, I'm satisfied. And finally, the ranked play is some of the chillest ranked play out there, in my opinion. It awards you for pursuing opponents, trying to get downs, and trying, you know, honestly, to just play the game in a fun, not campy style, right? It's not all about being the winner if you weren't pushing damage downrange, being aggressive, and taking down your opponents, which I kind of like. Now, again, all this stuff can change at the higher levels of play, but here we are 2 years later, and for the most part, I think Apex is the best battle royale out there for a certain type of player. And for the type of FPS game that I enjoy, I'm that type of player, and I know many of you guys are as well. I kind of felt like the Apex universe would be a little bit further along at this point in terms of maybe improving limited time game modes. I'm happy about crossplay, don't get me wrong, but there's been a huge assortment of server issues. It seems like every other week there's challenges, and imagine that, you know, now what, 3 consoles in the mix with PC players, and it's getting complicated. Not to mention we're dealing with what, a Source Engine game here. It is wild, right, that they're pushing all this tech to all these people at once. It speaks very brightly of maybe what is potentially possible down the road. Titanfall 3, you ever happen? Imagine crossplay from the very beginning. All of a sudden, you would have quite a solid population, even if it wasn't, you know, the same popularity that we saw Titanfall 2 achieve, which was very little. So even in a worst case scenario, some of the tech and the lessons that they're learning from Apex hopefully will extend to future Respawn titles. What I mean with the lackluster limited time game modes, there's really no LTMs in Apex that have got me going, wow, this is amazing, I can't wait to play. Whereas some of the competitors like Warzone seem to do a really good job with some of those. And mechanically speaking too, why have they not integrated some crazier stuff with the limited time game modes? You have the Titanfall universe to pull from, man. There is absolutely the potential for a cool team deathmatch mode in here. Maybe there's the opportunity to bring a Titan in at some point. I know it sounds crazy, but it would be kind of cool, even if it was just a side attraction kind of game mode. And then finally, like I mentioned, sort of the monetization model. I don't mind a game being free to play, but man, just fueled by battle passes, I'm reaching a fatigue point with it. Give it another 2 years and I will be totally ready to pay $60 for a game if it's got plenty of things I can unlock in it from the start. I think we've traded one evil for another, and obviously loot boxes got to the point where it was pretty gross, pretty awful, and when battle passes came right into the forefront, it seemed like an amazing middle ground. But there's got to be maybe an improved solution. So the long-term outlook, I think, for Apex is fairly good. You've got, obviously, the PC version now with some Steam charts showing decent numbers and even some growth. Maybe it's just migrating players, but still seems like it's a lot better narrative than if you were to just lean on what, you know, Twitch popularity dictates for the game. Additionally, EA and Respawn have plans to launch the mobile version of the game, hoping to crack into, I think they said, the Chinese mobile market, where PUBG Mobile is unbelievably huge. I was reading an article the other day, I think, what was it, iOS app revenue or whatever was 70+ billion, and the gaming sector represented like 2/3 of that, or if not more. Apparently some people really like playing games on a touchscreen. I'm not one of them, but it is massive. And thinking about Apex getting, you know, a bigger international foothold entering into the mobile market is something very interesting. I certainly hope that is not cross-play. Oh, that would be interesting, running into people playing mobile if you're on a PC. But what do you guys think about Apex Legends in 2021? We're 2 years on. How are you liking the game? Is it a VR that you enjoy? If it's not, it's no worries. I still respect, like, Warzone. I think it's doing a fantastic job. But for me personally, I always have fun hopping into Apex a little bit each season. I may not be interested in buying the Battle Pass and playing every day for 2 hours, but overall, it seems like the game has a good trajectory, has done some nice things for Respawn. I just hope it pivots into a Titanfall 3 someday. Please, Respawn, please. Thanks so much for watching. Have a really good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys again very soon. If you enjoyed, you know, subscribe, do the YouTube things, follow me on Twitter, and yeah, just enjoy your week. Talk to you later.